describe what that was like and how well you feel like you did?
Well, it's just different. It's something that I'm not used to. I don't think anyone's really used to until you get out there and actually do it. In a game you're throwing against the defense. There's more people, but you're prepared. It's something you can practice for. You can practice for it, but the environment where you're just throwing on air, with general managers and head coaches, people that are going to make some very important decisions. Obviously, it's extremely nerve-wracking, but I think it was extremely comforting having, my teammates out there with me today. I think they could tell that I was anxious for today, and they did a good job of keeping me loose. And, they did a great job running and catching for me today.
How did you feel like you did?
I thought I did very well today. I thought I showed a wide variety of throws. I didn't think I just came out and showed, the basic things. I thought I came out and, showed some in the gun, on the move, different throws. And I think it showed everyone I can still make all the throws, and my shoulders, just what it was, before I got hurt.
Sam, is it 100% now?
Yeah, it feels great.
Is it even better maybe than it was before?
I think so. I feel like it's getting stronger every week. So as long as it continues to get stronger, I think there's no doubt that, by the time it levels off, that it is going to be better and stronger than it was before the surgery.
Has your motion changed at all? Are you coming over the top a little bit more? Or it's a little shorter?
I've worked on trying to quicken it up just a little bit, but, I feel like I still have the same motion. That's something that, I was really, I guess something I really put a lot of thought into. I wanted to make sure that coming back from the surgery that I kept my motion. I feel like that's one of the reasons that I was so accurate, and something, I still wanted to be accurate, and I felt like if I could keep the motion the same, it'd really help me do that.
So at what point did you start thinking about pro day performance in your mind gearing up for it?
I think you're always thinking about it. As soon as the season was over, obviously I knew that this was going to be the date that everyone was going to see me throw. I don't think it really hit me, and I don't think the butterflies started coming in until Saturday night and Sunday. That's when it really hit me, and I realized that it was here, and it was time to go.
So you guys work out differently, getting ready for combines, because it's not really a football thing. What things did you have to do to prepare for something like this, because it's not a football game?
Yeah, obviously it is not a football game. And, I think the most important thing that I did was rehab with my shoulder. Obviously it was important for me to get in the weight room and get stronger, but the most important thing for me was getting my shoulder healthy again. And I put a lot of time into that. I feel like it really paid off. I feel like my shoulder feels good now. And I really couldn't be happier with the results.
You played in some pretty big games in your life. How do you compare the pre-game anxiety before a big game with maybe the pre-game anxiety you may have had coming into this?
It's just different. Like I said earlier, it's a totally different environment. With this today, at least I knew what to expect as far as what throws I was going to have to make. When you get into a game, you're really not sure what's going to happen. You don't know what plays are going to get called, how the other team's going to play. So it's just different, but it's definitely nerve-wracking.
What about the notion that you obviously met with the Rams folks today? They have the first
Yeah.
pick. What about the notion of going to a total rebuilding situation? Is that something that's daunting at all?
No. To be honest, I haven't thought about it a lot. Obviously, I think that's still quite a ways down the road, still almost a month away. But, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to play, in the NFL, whether it's with the Rams or another team. I'm just excited for that opportunity.
What would it mean to you personally to be the number one pick?
I think that's what everyone grows up. You dream about being the number one pick. But, it's really nothing I can control. All I can control is, how I work from here on out to get myself ready for the draft. And if it happens, it happens. If not, I'm going to be excited wherever I go.
Sam, you've not done all the testing, have you? The 40 and the vertical. And if you haven't, are you going to?
No.
Just because you don't think you can help yourself?
Pretty much. And I'm going to be honest here, but no. I put so much time into my shoulder that, it was really hard to get everything else in. And I felt like, the shoulder and throwing was definitely the most important thing. And, I put all my effort into that, and I think it paid off today.
Sam, give us a sense of your preparation down in Florida, how you got ready for this day.
Like I said earlier, the rehab, was the main thing. When I first got down there, I was working out twice a day with the rehab in between. I've only been throwing now for about 5 weeks, so, when I got to throw routes, it felt really good. And as soon as I could start to throw routes, I was working with Coach Terry Shea, and we kind of started to put together a script, just throwing routes, what I felt comfortable with. So for the past couple weeks, that's kind of been, what I've been doing. I came back to Norman last Saturday, and for the past week, I've just been throwing those routes in that script with the guys who ran today.
How'd you pick Terry Shea?
It's someone that, my agent, Tom Condon, has used before. He worked with Stafford and Freeman last year. It's just something that they kind of felt was, right to do.
Sam, how good did it feel the first time you got back out there throwing? It had been so long.
Felt really good. It was just such a relief the first time that I got to throw, knowing that, the surgery was done correctly, that my rehab was on schedule, and that I was still able to throw. Because, that's something that I was worried about. When I had to make the decision to have surgery, I knew that, there was a possibility that there could be complications and that I could be set back and, I might not be able to throw. But, the first day that I got out there and was able to throw, it was just, a huge relief. It was really pretty exciting for me.
How impressed were you with your receivers today, Chris and Jermaine and guys?
Very good. I thought those guys did a great job today. I thought they made some great catches. They adjusted to some balls today. It just felt good to be out there with those guys again. It's been a long time since I've got to throw to some of those guys, but, I'm still very familiar with them. And, to have them out there with me, it was extremely comforting.
Sam, when was it that you felt really good knowing that you could come to today and do what you did? Was it a week ago you felt like you were ready, or 2 weeks?
I would say probably about 2 weeks ago, probably the last week I was in Florida, I really felt like, my arm strength had come back, and I felt like I was putting some zip on the ball. I felt like my footwork and my accuracy had started to come back. So I'd say 2 weeks ago I felt very confident going into today.
Jermaine said that it's only been a few days since you guys have been throwing together again. I mean, you guys have been out for so long.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you that things went that well with guys you hadn't been working with down in Florida and things?
No, not really. I mean, those guys are so good that, it's pretty easy for me because they're so consistent with their routes. I know where they're going to be. I've spent 4 years with them here. We had a great time playing together at Oklahoma. We had some great wins here. So I think when you spend that much time working with someone, you can pick it up pretty quickly.
Does Tom and Terry, your agent, and do those guys in your camp, do they tell you that today was just to show everybody that the surgery went well and that you can do the same things that you used to do? Basically was today?
I don't know if that's all it was. No matter what anyone, tells me, I put a lot of pressure on myself coming today. I wanted to put on a good performance today. I wanted to show everyone, that my arm was back to where it was before I had surgery. So, I don't know if that's all it was today. For me, it was probably more than that.
Was there any one particular pass that you threw today where you said maybe inside your head you were going, I nailed that one?
I would say probably the deep post route to Adron. I felt like that ball came out good and, caught him in stride. So, when I threw that one, I knew it was good when I let it go.
Sam, Gil Brandt at the NFL said that he thought it was the best quarterback workout he'd seen since Troy Aikman. Did they tell you things like that, or what were they saying to you?
I talked to Gil, and he did say that. But, obviously, that's a huge compliment because Troy Aikman, he's a heck of a football player. But at the end of the day, it's still just a workout. I'm not going to go to the NFL and throw routes on air to guys. I'm going to have to play, against a very good defense week in and week out. So, it's gratifying to have a good work and hear things like that. But at the end of the day, I know, it's just a small step in this process.
So Coach Spagnuolo didn't go ahead and say they're going to take you #1?
No, haven't heard that yet.
Sam, as well as you threw today, by the time you get to camp, do you still feel like you have a little bit to go, or do you feel like you're right where you need to be to go to camp?
I'd say physically, I feel like I'm where I need to be. Mentally, I still, there's a lot of things I don't know about the NFL game, a lot of things I'm going to have to learn, especially not playing last year. Mentally, I just need to probably start watching some film, trying to understand NFL defenses, try to get a head start before I get there.
What's next? What's next on your agenda as far as?
I'm just going to continue to work out, continue to stay in shape, and then, I think I've got a visit with Washington here coming up within, I think, next week, and then a couple workouts, and then visit St. Louis.
You stay here, you go on?
Yeah, I'll be here in Norman.
You plan to be in New York, Sam?
I don't know yet. I haven't made that decision.
Sam, you were under center some today. Some of the critics have talked about, you didn't do that much at Oklahoma. Would you address that, and then the fact that you did do some of that today?
Yeah, everyone said that, and I've heard that a million different times. But I think if you look 2 years ago In 2007, we were under center probably 50% of the time. I think that's the actual number. Quarterback, you still have to take a drop. I've taken plenty of drops. Coach Heupel did a great job here of making sure that we were prepared to throw under center if we had to. Every day at practice, the first route we threw, it was always from under center, and then if we wanted, we could take one in the gun. So I'm really comfortable throwing under center. I felt like I showed that today. I felt like my footwork was very good today, and I really don't think that's a question anymore.
Would you be interested at all in signing before the draft? Is that a better question for Tom Cohen?
Yeah, that's probably a better question for him, But like I said earlier, I don't control that. I have no clue how it's going to play out. If that's how it works, then that's how it works. If not, I'll be excited to hear my name called on draft day.
Are you nervous about that process at all, the negotiation and all that?
Not really, because like I said, I can't control that. So I was probably more nervous about today, the things that I could control, than the things that I can't.
Sam, often before pro days, players will go out to dinner with the team or something like that. Did you meet with any of the clubs in the days right before this?
No, I did not. I had breakfast with the Rams this morning, but I didn't go to dinner with anyone.
Who was at the breakfast for the Rams?
Just the head coach, Coach Spagnuolo, and the offensive coordinator, Pat Shermer, Coach Curl, the quarterback's coach. They came towards the end of the breakfast.
Billy Devaney didn't?
He was there, but no, he was not. All right.